Big news on Saturday as LSU lands another big-time commitment. The Tigers add wide receiver, five-star receiver Derek Meadows out of Las Vegas, Bishop Gorman High School. And we're talking about it here on this Rapid Reaction podcast, the Go 24/7 podcast. My name is Bryce Koon, the host of this. We welcome you in. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you're listening in any podcast feed, we hope you stay tuned over there, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you might be getting us. We appreciate the support. But Derek Meadows is an LSU Tiger. Not officially, pen hasn't gone to paper, but this is a big time pickup for the Tigers and being able to secure a top tier talented wide receiver. Now, look, let's start this off right here. There was no real reason to be overly concerned or overly worried about Cortez Hankton and this LSU staff getting a wide receiver. Yes, he swung and missed on CJ Wiley. There's still a lot of dominoes. DeCorian Moore isn't going to be heading to Oregon tentatively. You're going to have guys like Jamie French that you're still going to look at. But for LSU to go ahead and get Derek Meadows in the boat, you're going to add him alongside Teron Francis, the in-state man they nicknamed Manchild. Really nice talent there in here in Louisiana. But when you take a look at kind of how this class is shaping up, and I said this, offensively, you want your elite skill positions to have big-time playmakers. Bryce Underwood, Harlem Berry, and I like Teron Francis, but then obviously Derek Meadows gives you this physical, big-bodied receiver that can go up and contend for those 50-50 balls. And so that we're going to talk a little about that. We're going to look at some of the film, but this is a big get and a big addition for the LSU 2025 class. All right, let's take a look here and let's start it off with who is Derek Meadows. Now, look, I mentioned to you as we pull some things up here that when you look at kind of Meadows' profile and what he brings to the table, 6'5", over 200 pounds. This is a guy that was long considered a Notre Dame lean. Tom Loy, formerly of the Notre Dame coverage, now 24/7 Sports national recruiting analyst. Tom Loy had kind of had a good pulse on this, as well did Sonny Ship on our Go 24/7 side about where things have maybe trended with Derek Meadows. And you look at what Meadows brought to the table in terms of his physical acumen, his capability of having a nice catch radius to go up and compete for those 50-50 balls. LSU needed that. They needed a big-bodied receiver. And so they go out and get this guy in Meadows who is, like we said, was a long time considered Notre Dame lean. LSU really started to put on the full court press, especially when it became apparent that, hey, Texas and Oregon are courting some big-time receivers, and CJ Wiley opts to go to Florida State. LSU's got to get a big fish kind of in the basket, and they did here in Meadows. So credit to Cortez Hankton and this staff for being able to keep the foot on the gas pedal and continue to ride the momentum of you got DJ Pickett earlier in the week. You obviously got Jace Thomas last week, and then you continue to build upon this recruiting class, and I think it's pretty nice what they can bring to the table. But obviously, this is a big one here on Saturday that they're able to get. And, you take a look, and Greg Biggins, national recruiting analyst for 24/7 Sports, had the following to say after getting a little scouting report on Derek Meadows back in April. He goes, Meadows is a jumbo receiver and one of the more intriguing players overall in the 2025 class. He has a rare combination of size and athleticism and body control, and it's really only scratching the surface of how good we think he can be. Biggins had him at 6'6", 200 pounds, and an 80-inch wingspan. He's a matchup nightmare for smaller defensive backs and should be an immediate red zone threat. He can run as well and is one of the region's top track athletes, although a hamstring injury limited him this past spring. He was the Gatorade Track and Field Athlete of the Year as a sophomore and is one of the region's top hurdlers. He has a big frame, and it wouldn't shock us if he eventually grows into a pass-catching tight end who would be lethal working against linebackers and safeties down the middle of the field. Saying that, he definitely has a receiver skill set, and we've seen him dominate the 7v7 circuit with his length, jump ball skills, and the ability to catch the ball through contact. His upside is extremely high, and with continued development, there's no question he has the potential to play on Sundays for a very long time. That's Greg Biggins, national recruiting analyst. That's his scouting report. And I'll just go ahead and tell you, when you watch the tape, we're going to link it down here in this video. If you're listening, then you're not getting to watch it alongside of us. That's a good reason for you to head over to Go 24/7, check out the highlights through Huddle and everything as well. But this is a guy, like he said, you could maybe bring him into the fray as kind of this just hybrid weapon that is nearly unguardable. And I think that's why Brian Kelly took a long look at this. Cortez Hankton, I imagine Slade Nagel did as well, and said, hey, we just got to get this athlete in the fray, and we're going to find a place for him to play. But definitely can line up in the slot, can put his hand down as a tight end. But at that speed, with his ability. He's not just a tight end that can catch the ball. He's a receiver as well, and that's what we have him primarily listed over at 24/7 Sports as. And speaking of that ranking, 24/7 Sports has him ranked as a 5-star, the 32nd best player in the country, the number 6 wide receiver in the country, and the number 1 player in the state of Nevada. The 24/7 Sports composite ranking, it does bump him down a little bit when you take into the rankings across all different recruiting and scouting platforms. The 68th best player in the country, the 10th best wide receiver, and still, though, the number 1 player in the state of Nevada. All right, let's take a look now at the tape. What are we looking at when it comes to the table of Mr. Derek Meadows? Well, one of the things you're going to be able to tell early on, and you can see him here kind of lining up on the outside, is this is a guy who, in one-on-one coverage, when you watch what he can do, he's got a nice release, but he is going to use his body to get open. And you say, well, okay, what does that mean, Bryce? Break that down for me. What this means is that Derek Meadows is a guy that uses his length. He uses his overall size. He's just a bigger guy to be physical at the point of contact in terms of going to get the football. That catch radius we talked about, it's a nice catch radius because a big part of his game is creating separation, playing physical. And look, when you look at wide receiver rooms, and not that LSU doesn't have this or can't have this, LSU's going to have the guys that are speedsters. They're going to have the down the field threats. Getting a guy like Meadows into the fray is a big-bodied guy that can go up and can compete for those 50-50 balls. And you can see multiple times, here, that's a blown coverage right there if you're watching that along with us. But just his ability to run routes is going to be something that he needs to become more crisp at. He's going to, probably have a little bit of a acclimation period to the college game, especially in the SEC. But from this right here, you talk about a scramble drill, continuing to get open and make plays. And then right there, the 50-50 ball to go up. I mean, look, there are very few defensive backs that are going to be able to compete with that. And LSU might have one in DJ Pickett with his size at 6'4", 6'5", in that fray. But this is a guy who I think is going to be a nightmare over the middle. Opposing safeties are going to have to come up and play physical against him if he runs that, skinny post route or that slant route over the middle of the field. And you can have many different weapons alongside him. Like we talked about, the way that he could fit into this offense is in many different ways. You can see him right here throwing a pass. I mean, that's just Derek Meadows, the athlete. But to kind of round out, what we take a look at his tape and everything, I mean, if you can get into a five receiver set, he can be your inside slot guy. And then you allow other weapons, and LSU just continues to stack those not only through the portal, but as well. But, a guy that I'm going to be interested to watch, okay, and how they utilize him this year is CJ Daniels. And I think that you could see similar utilization of a skill set with a guy like Derek Meadows. How does LSU use CJ Daniels in that big-bodied receiver type of role? Could Derek Meadows, maybe eventually fill those shoes? That's going to be something that I'm going to really continue to keep an eye on here in 2024 as we get closer and closer to the start of the season. But hey, that was a look at the tape. If you're listening, that means a good reason for you to head over onto YouTube and check that video out and make sure you subscribe to the channel. But before we get out of here, let's take a look at what's next. Now, you take a look at LSU's 2025 recruiting class continuing to build. It's a top 5 class. We talked about it. Bryce Underwood, DJ Pickett, Harlem Berry, Damian Shanklin, and LaJesse Harold. I mean, that's some of the big-time 4-stars. Your offensive line feels like it's going to be set. Brad Davis continues to do great work there. He might add a late riser. The running back position has JT Lindsay along with Harlem Berry, Teron Francis, and now Derek Meadows. Look, keep an eye on a couple other guys, especially inside the state of some risers that can make an impact and be that 3rd or 4th receiver. But when you look at how this class is shaping up, you really, really have to like the depth that they're building. And a message that Brian Kelly has continued to harp on about LSU is that he wants to build from the young, from the high school ranks, and wants to build continuity. If this offense is going to continue on its pace, being number 1 in the country last year was very, very good. Are they going to be number 1 this year? I don't know. But the way that you keep that in that conversation is stacking offensive recruiting classes like LSU is doing. So they obviously add Derek Meadows to the fray. That is a big-time get, a big-time catch, and a big-time fish that they were able to reel in. So shout out to this staff. Cortez Hankton did a fantastic job making sure they were going to get Derek Meadows. Brian Kelly and staff did a really, really good job. And like we said, that partnership of NIL and relationships, LSU is kind of on sky high, cruising right now with this, and you have to like kind of where they sit. So big time get. Derek Meadows commits to LSU here on Saturday. Stay tuned for more commitment updates. We're getting ready to roll into fall camp, and then the 2024 season is right around the corner. Make sure you head over to Go 24/7. Myself and Bryce Koon, along with Glenn West and Sonny Ship. We have some great content coming over there on all things LSU through the 24/7 Sports Network. And you can utilize all the features as well. Make sure that you hop on that, obviously, VIP subscription as well, taking full advantage of it. You can partner that and plug that along with Paramount Plus as well, so you can watch all of your favorite shows too. It's a great deal that you need to take advantage of right now. My name's Bryce Koon. Derek Meadows is an LSU Tiger. Big time get for Cortez Hankton and his staff. And we'll catch you next time here on the Go 24/7 podcast.